group of math teachers from the London Borough of Bromley are working to incorporate more innovative assessment for learning techniques in their teaching.
It looks very nice. There's not a whole lot of information on it.
The course is led by Alison Clark-Wilson from the Mathematics Centre at University College, Chichester, and Christina Moody, maths consultant for the London Borough of Bromley.
And this is probably the best one, which is beautiful. But the stuff they came out with has given me so many things. But one of the major things...
The teachers report back on their earlier attempts to encourage their pupils to be more independent learners.
Isn't boring, don't you? Loads of boring.
They were able to use Pythagoras to find the hypotenuse, to find a short side. Some of them went as far as finding the height of this triangle to find the area.
I gave him a piece of paper with a blank, or one dot on it, apart from that being blank, and said, "Can you describe to me exactly where the dot is?"
Among them is Caroline Price, maths teacher at the Ravensbourne School, who's keen to try a project about graphs, coordinates and equations with her Year 9 class.
For me, moving on, I've now taught them y equals mx plus c, grids, tables, everything. Next Friday, they're going to get the resources you gave us and see what they do with that.
In front of you, you've got an envelope. In that envelope, you have got some graphs, coordinates, equations and tables. So what you're going to do is you're out to impress me. Impress me. All right? That's it.
So, what's the blank one? Get out of one.
You've got y equals x.
As the lesson gets underway, LEA consultant Christina Moody is on hand to give help and advice.
Given them different types of graphs, gives them coordinates, and all the graphs have straight lines on them, and I've actually given them equations for the straight lines, and they've got tables, and they've just got to see what they can put together or what they can make together, and that's it.
The important feature is that the pupils work out how they want to group the cards and make a start with minimal support from the teacher. These pupils are discussing a matching graph, equation and pair of coordinates.
Because that will continue going down.
And minus every line. So if you go up one, you go across one. You're on main, so going across two, and down two. So things be the same.
What I've actually asked them to do is inspire me, impress me, to tell me what they've actually learned from my teaching, if they've learned anything. And that's it. Everything is to do with what they want to do. Put things together in their order, not my order. And that's it.
That one goes with that one as well.
Pupils can have unconventional ways of describing mathematics, but listening to them gives an insight into their understanding.
Got to look for one that goes across 3 and up 2.
You give me that one.
Which one?
That one, the one next to that one.
Is there anyone
That passes through 6 and
that's
6.
6 because it goes across 6? Actually, no, it's not.
It passes through 6.
That just passes through 6.
And it's in the negative.
Is there 1, 5?
Which one?
So you got one that goes across 1. There, that's it, because it goes across 1 and it goes up to 5.
In this type of lesson, the priority is less about pupils getting right or wrong answers, but about working on extending their thinking and reasoning.
Go there, but we need to help with these and those.
Is that -3, -3?
You put them, you inspire me and tell me what you're going to do with them.
Can we draw more than one line on each graph?
You can do what you want.
Can we shred them?
Pardon?
Can we shred them?
No, we can't shred them.
Can we put y equals x there?
You can do, yes.
Just waste one.
But you've already got a y equals x over there. Do you want it twice?
It don't work.
Go on, keep going. Think. I'm not going to tell you nothing's right and nothing's wrong. All right?
Okay.
Have a go. I want you to inspire me.
-10.
Impress
minus
me.
10.
Of what you
We have
can
not
do.
got that. Oh yeah, we've got that to go with that.
Yeah. That's a coordinate. Why have I done that?
The teacher's role is also to ask questions that probe pupils' understanding or misconceptions.
Where could it go? It might actually not necessarily be on the graph. You could make it on a graph.
He's made them all now. He used all the made up ones up.
You've gone
That's the point, because like,
5 across. Now you've gone wrong way. 1 up. Yes, that's right. So therefore that goes with it.
oh, are you happy now? Yeah, I'm happy now. Yeah, I suppose.
How do we get from 10 to 32? Times it by
3 plus 2. So that goes with that. Work out the others. Do you write down like, say 5 and then times by 3 and then plus 2? And then you, oh right, okay.
There we go. And actually the explanation you just gave me, right on there, that would be enough.
Okay.
Look at it carefully. You've got 2 here.
Yeah.
What does this tell you?
When it passes through.
Yeah, where
Could that match up with that?
yeah, because it passes through the 2.
So therefore, your justification for putting that with that can be as simple as the intercepts are the same.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, is there anything else that matches up?
When you do a right angle, it goes up 3. Look, so when you go up 3, there's one there, yeah, and then when you go up another 3, there's another one there.
Right, so look at the equation.
Yeah, it makes sense because it goes through 2 and then it goes 3 up and then it goes 3 up to get the right angle.
So does that fit with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
How do the pupils react to this new approach?
It's a totally new thing for all of us, like most of it.
So what math lessons normally like?
Usually we're just like textbooks, yeah, we've got this like textbook.
We usually use the active board.
Yeah, like we've got an active board, like she will show us examples on the active board. And then like we'll copy it down or something and then we'll work from the textbook like different exercises.
So what are Caroline's normal math lessons like?
Normal lesson, oh, I'm a bit chalk and talk, I'm afraid. This is very different because I'm usually in control. That's my biggest problem.
And how are the pupils responding to this very open task?
They enjoy it, actually. Yes, because this is not about... I'm a bit of a nag when it comes to teaching, and I nag them to be quiet. But they're actually working their own task, and that's the most important thing. This is a more productive lesson than what I normally teach, I'm afraid to confess.
So how does it feel to you, just having to sort of bite your lip and not sort of...
It's very hard. Sit on my hands, I can't do that. I find it very, very... to interfere and butt in. It's really, really the hardest part of these lessons. Really hard. I've tried not to, but I don't seem to be winning. I've interfered a couple of times, but that's all. Come on.
We can't do this.
Yes, you can. Talk, discuss, and think.
We have done that.
You can do it.
Miss, we have another yellow graph.
Oh.
Can you tell me something about that?
LEA consultant Christina talks to pupils to see what learning has taken place.
So, is there any graph here which has got a gradient of 2.5? Sure. How do you find the gradient of a line?
Where the 2 points are, you do a triangle.
So, how do you find the gradient using that triangle?
If I had that.
Which way round? Difference in change in what? In y divided by x. Okay. So how many squares is that? Divided by 2, which is 2. And what's the intercept? Right.
Because you like double that basically. If it's 2, if it's like 5,
I want you to do your reflective diary on the paper, like you normally do. In today's lesson, I have learnt, done, did this, did that, understand, whatever. Fine.
We've only done 3.
In this lesson, we've learnt to understand the intercept and gradient, how to find equations on graphs, to plot coordinates, and to evaluate our work. We're just about to write that we enjoyed working today with pairs and partners.
I just said like I've enjoyed the lesson and that I've had fun and I've learnt more about the gradient and intercept and how to work out how to put the gradient and intercept together on the graph.
In today's lesson we understood more about sorting the data using graphs, tables, equations and coordinates, and it was fun.
We learnt that the gradient is the steepness of the line and that the intercept is where the line crosses on the y-axis, and we learnt how to put the two together and draw the line across.
It was fun because we got to do more practical work with the numbers and everything. We didn't have to just copy it down and write it down in our books.
So what are the advantages for pupils of this assessment for learning approach?
I think it's giving them the opportunity to connect all the different areas of maths which they possibly wouldn't see all together, like tables of values and gradients and y-intercepts. And a big part of this lesson is actually going round and probing them and challenging them and making them justify each other.
Go on, keep going. Think.
It makes them have to think a lot more and consolidates the previous work they've done.
But might it appear that, compared with a normal lesson, the teacher is doing nothing?
Yeah, but doing nothing, but I was listening. That's the art of it, listening. I have to listen to them. Because, OK, they would say, does this go with this? And instead of me saying yes or no, I was going, why? What makes you put those two things together? It's your choice. Okay. All right? Yep.
Wow.
So off you go. So yes, although I wasn't doing anything maybe constructive in the normal teacher sense, I was, because I was actually doing something that we very rarely do, is listen to the children. And they would tell him, I was making them tell me exactly what they were actually doing. Times it by
3 plus 2. So that goes to that.
It's empowering the pupils a lot more to become independent learners and to actually move forward themselves and see themselves where they're going wrong by challenging each other and working together. So it's a step towards independent learning.
I don't know, they're just always more engaged doing these type of lessons, definitely. And I don't have, I've got a big mouth, I know that, and I shout and scream, but I haven't actually had to correct anybody. Behaviour's not been an issue at all. Yeah, but they were talking, weren't they? But they were doing what I wanted them to do. They were talking about, they were constructively talking, weren't they? And that's the difference, because I allowed them to actually talk, but they were on task with what I wanted. So it is very different, isn't it?
The resources used in this lesson are available on the Teachers TV website.